The woman who married a thunderstorm. A myth of origin and nature. The silence before the storm. In the days when the river still spoke and trees whispered the names of ancestors, there lay a fertile land called Omuo. Nestled between thick rainforest and golden hills, Omuo was a village kissed by the gods. The land was bountiful, the skies generous, and the people content. But all that changed the year the rains forgot to come. The sun baked the earth until cracks formed like tribal marks across the land. Rivers shrunk into threadbare streams. Goats died bleating. Crops withered in the fields. The village elders whispered that the gods had turned their faces. Sacrifices were made, drums beaten, chants echoed, but the heavens remained mute. In the heart of this desperation was a young woman named Nkem. She was the daughter of Chief Egbuna, but unlike other maidens, she refused to be bound by village customs. Her skin glowed like polished bronze, and her eyes held the storm, wild, grey, and fierce. They said she was born during a tempest, her first cry echoing with the roar of thunder. Some called her blessed. Others feared her. Even as the village grew desperate, Nkem would walk into the parched woods alone, speaking to the wind as though it understood her. One day, the wind whispered back. The voice in the wind. It began on the third night of the dry moon. Nkem had wandered far into the forest, searching for water or perhaps something more. A low rumble stirred the air, though the sky remained clear. "Why do you call out when no one listens?" a voice asked, deep and shivering like a distant storm. Startled, Nkem turned. A man stood between two iroko trees, tall and dark-skinned, draped in robes that shimmered like rain. His hair floated like mist, and his eyes crackled with lightning. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am Kamalu, the spirit of thunder, the son of the Sky Father and the Rain Mother. You have summoned me with your sorrow, and I have heard you." Nkem's heart pounded, not with fear but awe. "Then why have you withheld the rain? My people suffer." Kamalu's face darkened. The balance was broken when men turned their backs on the old ways. The earth weeps because she is forgotten. Nkem looked down. "Then what must be done?" Kamalu stepped closer. "A bond must be made between sky and soil, a union to restore balance." He raised his hand. Lightning flashed between his fingers. "I offer you a choice, Nkem of Omuo. Return to your people and watch them wither, or come with me, become one with the storm, and awaken the rain." The bride of thunder. The next morning, Nkem was gone. Some said she was taken by spirits. Others whispered she had run mad and wandered into death. Chief Egbuna wept silently, mourning the loss of his only daughter. But high above the clouds, in a palace sculpted from mist and light, Nkem awoke as a bride. Kamalu clothed her in robes of rain, crowned her with lightning, and gave her a new name, Obianuju, the one who brings abundance. Together, they danced across the skies. With every step, thunder roared. With every breath, clouds formed. Nkem, now Obianuju, felt power surge through her veins. Yet her heart remained tethered to Omuo. She watched her people suffer, her father grieve, and the earth crack beneath their feet. Kamalu warned her not to interfere, The mortals must learn humility before the rain would return. But Nkem could not bear it. On the eve of the red moon, she disobeyed. The forbidden rain. Nkem descended from the sky, wrapped in wind and sorrow. She appeared in her father's compound, her feet leaving puddles in the dust. Chief Egbuna fell to his knees. Nkem, is it truly you? I am Obianuju now, she said, her voice layered with thunder. But I have returned to water the land. She raised her arms. Rain began to fall, light at first, then heavy. The earth drank eagerly. Crops sprung from the dust. Children laughed. The village rejoiced. But joy was short-lived. Kamalu appeared in a flash of fury. His face, once kind, was now clouded with wrath. You broke the oath, he thundered. You spilled rain upon ungrateful soil. They are my people. Nkem cried. They needed me. And now you have doomed them. With a sweep of his arm, he summoned a storm unlike any seen before. Winds tore through huts. Lightning set trees ablaze. The village screamed as water became wrath. Chief Egbuna rushed forward, shielding Nkem. Spare her. She meant only to help. Kamalu faltered, pain flickering across his face. But balance had been broken twice now, first by man, then by love. There is only one way to restore what has been lost, he said gravely. You must choose, stay with them and become mortal, or return with me, and be storm forever. The sacrifice. Nkem turned to her father, then to the village that had once feared and now worshipped her. She felt the soil beneath her feet, cracked but yearning, alive with memory. I am of both sky and soil, she said. But my place is between, to guard the balance, not sway it. She stepped into the heart of the storm and raised her arms. Let this be my vow, I will not belong to the sky or the land. I will be the watcher, the weaver of both. Kamalu's eyes widened. Such a choice was unheard of, to live between realms, neither god nor mortal. It will be lonely, he warned. Nkem nodded. So is the storm. And with that, she vanished into the clouds. Legacy of the Storm Bride. The storm subsided. The sun broke through. The land began to heal. Omuo rebuilt, stronger and wiser. They planted not only crops but shrines, one in honor of Kamalu, the thunder god, and another for Obianuju, the storm bride. To this day, when thunder rumbles without rain, elders say Nkem walks the skies, watching, waiting, weighing the hearts of men. And when the first rain falls, mothers whisper to their children. That is Obianuju's blessing, the woman who married a thunderstorm and became the guardian of the balance between man and nature. If you love what we are doing, please kindly show us your support by subscribing, liking, commenting and clicking on the bell icon for notification anytime we drop a new story. Let's continue with our story. The path of storms. The sky between worlds. The winds howled around her, not as torment but as greeting. Nkem, now reborn as the watcher between realms, was suspended in a plane neither sky nor soil, neither heaven nor earth. It was a place of memory, of echoes and storms unborn, the sky between worlds. Here, her robes were spun from mist and starlight, her breath summoned whirlwinds, and her eyes saw into both past and future. She stood atop clouds shaped like mountains, beneath skies so vast they swallowed time itself. But even gods feel the weight of loneliness. Kamalu no longer visited her. Whether it was pride or sorrow that kept him away, she did not know. The storm that had once been her husband now raged across distant lands without her touch. At times, she reached down to Omuo, planting whispers in dreams. When a mother cried for her sick child, Nkem wrapped the wind around her heart to bring peace. When a young boy wandered into the forest, she guided his steps with rustling leaves. But always, she remembered her vow. She would not interfere with rain or thunder, not unless the balance itself fractured. And fracture it did. The return of the bone moth. Far beyond Omuo, in the northern deserts where the wind carries secrets, an ancient evil stirred Esekwensu, the bone moth. Once a god of crossroads and chaos, Esu had been banished by Kamalu himself during the first age of storms. But time erodes even the strongest seals, and with Nkem no longer in the heavens, Esu found a crack in the order. He slipped through shadows, sowing drought and madness across villages, whispering false promises to the desperate. Wherever he went, rain stopped falling, and rivers turned to sand. He fed on fear, grew strong on suffering. And now, his eye turned to Omuo, the masked oracle. It began with dreams. The villagers of Omuo saw visions of a man with a mouth full of teeth carved from bones. He wore no eyes, only smoke. His voice was honey and fire. "Bow to me, and I will make your rivers rise," he whispered. "Resist, and your children shall feed the dust." The elders gathered and sought out the masked oracle, a woman said to be born from a snake and a crow, who lived at the edge of the world beneath the baobab of echoes. Chief Ekbuna, old and frail now, journeyed with his son and the priestess to seek her wisdom. Days turned to weeks. When they finally reached her, she did not speak but sang. When thunder sleeps and soil forgets, the bone will rise and balance resets. But fear not the night, nor teeth, nor flame. The bride of storm remembers her name. The oracle reached into her fire and drew out a broken god, steaming with rainwater. "Call her," she whispered. "Not with voice, with truth." The gathering storm. Back in Omuo, the skies were gray, but not with rain. A shadow loomed, cold and hollow. The trees no longer sang. Even birds had fallen silent. Chief Ekbuna, now nearly blind, climbed the altar hill alone. There, when Nkem once vanished into the storm, he lit a fire made of palm leaves and old yam peels, just as she used to. "Daughter," he croaked, tears streaking the dust of his cheeks. "If you still walk the sky, if your soul remembers us, we need you. Not as rain, but as the storm that protects." He collapsed, coughing. Far above, in the sky between worlds, Nkem stared. She had felt Esu's presence, a darkness in the rhythm of the wind, a bitterness in the clouds. Now she felt her father's cry pierce the veil like a thorn through silk. Her heart burned. Not with rage, not with grief, with duty. She turned and faced the edge of the sky, where the wind becomes silence and the silence becomes power. She descended. The war of wind and bone. Esu had already come. He towered above the central shrine of Omuo, a twisting figure of bones and laughter. The villagers knelt in fear, offering goats and yams, but he crushed them with delight. "I want your fear," he sang. "I want your surrender. Your gods have abandoned you. Only the bone mouth speaks truth now." Thunder clapped, but not his. The wind split the clouds as Nkem descended, robes billowing like torn storm clouds, eyes glowing like twin bolts of judgment. The villagers gasped, "Obianuju." But she did not smile. She walked forward, each step shaking the ground. "You do not belong here, bone mouth," she said. "You prey on the broken. But Omuo is not broken. Not while I breathe." Esu grinned with jaws that clicked like drums. "You are neither goddess nor mortal. What power do you wield?" Nkem raised her hands. "The power of balance." And with that, the battle began. The dance of thunder. Lightning clashed against bone. Winds howled against flame. Nkem danced across the sky, her body a blur of movement and light. Esu grew monstrous, sprouting wings of ash, limbs of shadow. He hurled curses. She answered with rain. He shattered trees. She summoned wind. The storm swallowed the village. Yet in the center, a circle remained dry and untouched, the altar of the ancestors. Children huddled there, watching with wide eyes as heaven and horror collided. Nkem's strength began to falter. Esu struck her shoulder with a spear of bone, tearing through her mist cloak. Blood, real blood, spilled. She screamed, not in pain, but defiance. At that moment, Kamalu returned. He appeared as a great eagle, talons forged from thunder, eyes burning with stars. He flew over Nkem, and for the first time since their parting, their eyes met. "I did not forget you," he said, voice like rainfall on drums. "Then fight with me," she answered. Together, they struck. Bone to dust. Esu shrieked as Kamalu's thunder shattered his jaw. Nkem wove a chain of wind and wrapped it around his limbs. With a final cry, she summoned a column of rain so fierce it drowned fire itself. Esu collapsed, screaming, twisting, until only a cracked skull remained, which Nkem buried beneath the showing storm, sealing it with her own blood. The storm passed. The village stood, broken, yes, but alive. Kamalu looked at her, his form flickering. "You've done what even I could not," he whispered. "You became more than storm." Nkem, bruised and bloodied, simply nodded. "I became necessary. A new covenant." The next morning, the sun rose golden. Birds returned. The river that had dried now surged with silver blue life. Chief Egbune died peacefully that dawn, a smile on his lips. He had seen his daughter, goddess and guardian, one last time. The villagers built a new temple, not just for Kamalu, but for Obianuju, who walked the skies between. Every year, at the first thunderclap of planting season, a festival is held. Girls dress in mist white, and drums echo her name. Obianuju. Storm Bride. Balance Keeper. Thunderborn. Please subscribe.